morning. Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Church, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community, and pursue the common good. My name is Susan Bishop. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And today I'm wearing a blue polo shirt and yellow crop pants, or pedal pushers, whatever you want to call them. We welcome you this morning today in your brokenness and in your wholeness. No matter who you have been, who you are, or who you are becoming, we greet you today with love. I'd like to extend a special welcome to everyone who is watching on YouTube this morning. During the prelude, please introduce yourself in the comments and let us know where you're joining us from. If you're in Oklahoma City, what neighborhood are you in? Or if you're elsewhere, what city are you in? And now the prelude prepares us for worship.
We light our chalice here in our building in Midtown, Oklahoma City, on land that was home to indigenous peoples, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita, on land that was taken from the Muscogee Seminole and other removed and relocated peoples. We light the chalice as a symbol of our sacred time together. The burning chalice represents the light of reason and science, the warmth of loving community, the cleansing heat of justice, and the flame of hope. Today we have two candles of remembrance, one for the people of Maui, Hawaii, who have suffered an incredible wildfire that is, we still don't know the entire impact of that occurrence. So we want to have our thoughts with them. And also one for Mary Jo Bragdon, who we most recently found out had died in December. She had been living in California with family.
This is our last lay service for the year. This summer, we've welcomed guests from different faith traditions, the Baha'i faith, Buddhism, and today, Sikhism. I'm honored to welcome Saurabh Singh as our interfaith guest. Saurabh is the Vice President of the Interfaith Alliance of Oklahoma. He joined the Interfaith Alliance Board in 2019 and is a member of the Sikh faith. Excuse me. Saurabh has more than 20 years of executive experience in sectors including energy, automotive, industrial products, manufacturing and distribution across the Americas, Asia Pacific, and Europe. He has been married to Mandeep Singh for more than 36 years, and they have 2 adult children. Saurabh has been a volunteer on the boards of various organizations throughout his life, with special focus on leadership, service, and education. We're so happy to have you with us today. We open our service with these words by Valerie Kaur, who is a Sikh filmmaker, civil rights lawyer, and activist. Deep listening is an act of surrender. We risk being changed by what we hear. When I really want to hear another person's story, I try to leave my preconceptions at the door and draw close to their telling. I am always partially listening to the thoughts in my own head when others are speaking. So I consciously quiet my thoughts and begin to listen with my senses. Empathy is cognitive and emotional. To inhabit another person's view of the world is to feel the world with them. But I also know that it's okay if I don't feel very much for them at all. I just need to feel safe enough to stay curious. The most critical part of listening is asking what is at stake for the other person. I try to understand what matters to them, not what I think matters. Sometimes I start to lose myself in their story. As soon as I notice feeling unmoored, I try to pull myself back into my body, like returning home. As Hannah Arendt says, one trains one's imagination to go visiting. I love that. I love that. When the story is done, we must return to our skin, our own worldview, and notice how we have been changed by our visit. So I ask myself, what is this story demanding of me? What will I do now that I know this? Would you please rise in body or in spirit for our opening hymn? It's in the gray hymnal. It's number 66, When the Summer Sun is Shining. The words are by Sidney Henry Knight. The music is from the Southern Harmony. As a member of the worship team, Reverend Diana meets with us to discuss services and the themes and ways in which we can assist her. At our last meeting, she asked if anyone could help out in this service on Sikhism. No one said anything, and finally I said, well, I don't know the first thing about Sikhism. And suddenly I had volunteered to do this service. That's what happens. So I did what most people do in circumstances like this. I researched the internet, and voila, I found a lot of information. I'd like to share a little of what I learned and how similar it is with our beliefs and principles. So I'm going to quote Google. Sikhism is a monotheistic religion that advocates equality, social justice, service to humanity, and tolerance for other religions. That sounds real familiar to me. The essential message of Sikhism is spiritual devotion and reverence of God at all times while practicing the ideals of honesty, compassion, humility, and generosity in everyday life while avoiding sin. As for sin, we all probably define that differently. I believe there's really only one sin: greed. It seems to be the foundation for all the others. According to Wikipedia, again I cite, and other sources, Sikhism is the youngest religion, originating in the 15th or 16th century, and has grown to become one of the largest in membership. It originated in the Punjab region of southern Asia, where Unitarian Universalists promote 7 principles, Sikhism promotes 10. There are differences between our two faiths, and there are some noteworthy similarities. Belief in one God comes to mind. Historically, the word Unitarian comes from the belief in only one God, left to our own interpretation and understanding, and we do not recognize the Trinity. Treat everyone equally is another principle that dovetails nicely with Unitarian Universalism. Sikhism believes that it is immoral to show distinction on rank because of race, class, or gender. Our faith, Unitarianism, recognizes that justice and equity is vital in building healthy communities. Universality and equality are among the most important pillars of the Sikh faith. We Unitarian Universalists believe in the Golden Rule, loving our neighbors as ourselves, working for a better world, searching for truth with an open mind, using reason to help us explore religious ideas, and granting everyone the right to choose their own path, their own beliefs. We worship the eternal as we individually define it and sing songs and hymns of praise, remembrance, and fellowship each week. Unitarians practice fellowship by forming covenant groups where better understandings flourish. And it would seem to me that both faith traditions do the work of social justice, promoting peace, liberty, justice, and equity. Of course, there are differences. One that practically jumped off my computer screen, and I think you'll agree, was that those following the Sikh traditions do not indulge in alcohol, while we Unitarians, we're well known for providing wine and beer at many of our social functions. I was far more impressed with our similarities than any of our differences. Our shared values are so important. And for me, the important thing is that I learned a lot about a religion that I knew absolutely nothing about. So I'm grateful to Reverend Diana for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about the traditions of Sikhism from Saurabh. And thank you for listening.
Every Sunday, we take an offering. Since 2002, all the cash and designated checks from that offering have gone directly to external nonprofit organizations doing good work, our Change for Change partners. For the month of August, our Change for Change partner is Sisu Youth Services. The name Sisu comes from a Finnish word which encompasses the qualities of perseverance and determination. Sisu's vision is to end homelessness and hopelessness among transition-age youth here in Oklahoma City. Sisu is the low-barrier, identity-affirming space here in Oklahoma City, which provides emergency shelter for youth experiencing homelessness. a 23-hour drop-in service, transitional living and rapid rehousing programs, and case management, including life skills and enrichment training. For those of you who are in the sanctuary with us today, in just a moment we'll be passing the offering plate. If you are not able to make a gift today, we invite you to write a note of encouragement to our Change Partner organization, and we'll share those messages with them as well. And if you're watching online, please share your gift by sending a check to First Unitarian. Just write Change for Change in the memo line, or make an online payment through our website, oneuc.org.
Good morning. Thanks to Reverend Diana Davies, the leadership team at the First Unitarian Church of Oklahoma, and the congregation, all of you, for providing this opportunity today. On behalf of Sikh Gurdwara of Oklahoma and the Interfaith Alliance, and the founder of Sikhism, Nanak, I want to thank you all for this opportunity, and our hearts are filled with immense gratitude, at the same time with a lot of grief for all the humanity that is suffering in Hawaii. And we all, within our hearts and minds, whatever mode we use to reach out to the divine, should pray for their peace and may the divine be with them in these very hard times. I probably should learn more from Susan when I'm here. And I think I probably should have come here and invited here to listen to her, what Dr. Google is saying about Sikhism. So that makes my job a lot easier, because I don't have to depend upon Google. I can probably share a little bit more about my personal experiences with the Sikh faith of life. But it was amazing. It was awesome. Thank you. Yes. And there is a lot of similarity between First Unitarian principles, guidelines, as I read on your website, and Sikhism. So I also want to say thanks to Diana for personally being here. which he was not planning originally. And that is really a matter of great honor and privilege to me. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to start with singing a different lines of the hymns in Granth Sahib, which is the scripture in Sikhism. And then I'll translate it based upon what the meaning of those lines is. Loga param na pulo pai, Loga param na pulo pai, Khalak 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 main khalak, Pur re ho srab thai, Loga param na pulo pai, Aval Allah noor upaya, Aval Allah noor upaya, Kudrat ke sab bande, Kudrat ke sab bande, Ek noor te sag jag upja, Ek noor te sab jag upja, Kaun pale ko mande, Loga param na pulo pai, Loga param na pulo pai. One divine light is the source of all creation that pervades the entire humanity. All emerge from one divine. Then who is good and who is bad? Folks, don't let any doubt delude you. Please never forget the divine. Divine is the creation, and creation is the divine, permeating everywhere in everything. Divine has created diversity using the same materials, and both the materials and the divine are flawless. One divine is the creator of all and resides in it too. A good example of that is, let us say I'm a painter, I make a painting. I can make the painting, but I don't reside in the painting. My thought, my emotion, my spirit may reside in it. Similarly, the divine who has created all of us, everything in this universe, actually permeates and resides in that creation, and that's the difference. Take a flower. Flower gives us fragrance. Divine is that fragrance. There is no better way. Sunlight, divine is the sunlight. So those are just some examples and analogies to make us understand how divine, we live in the divine, and divine lives within us. Devotee Kabir says, this concept has cleared all my doubts, and I see one divine in all, and that is the stage that he wants to take us to. Divine in Sikhism, the objective is to seek total enlightenment, and that is achieved by connecting with that divine, which is eternal, it's constant, it's universal, it's continuous. So what is Sikh faith? Sikh faith is total focus of our mind in thought, word, and action on the message of the divine word, because that is the only thing that is tangible that we have. Sikhs call the divine word Shabad. A mind practicing or living the message of the Shabad with total focus is the Sikh way of life. It is personal, it is internal, it is 100% focus to improve your own self, improve your own mind, taking you to a state of zero ego. It is a process of transforming your own mind. The Shabad says one divine created self and then the entire creation. So the creation becomes the image of divine. One divine created the play of duality and staged it for us. And that is the challenge for the mind, to differentiate between that staged play and the divine that resides in the play. The divine in that way is the producer, is the actor, is the director, is the actor of that play. The entire universe is form of one divine. It is the rare, blessed, enlightened mind having the spiritual wisdom that is able to achieve that state. Nanak says, wherever I go, I see only one. One divine manifests in many, many forms. Yet that divine is formless. Yet that divine is absolute. Divine is the water. Divine is the waves, the droplets, the bubbles, the moisture, the H2O, the rainbow. Everything is divine. Yet we call it water, or different forms of it. The key difference is that Nanak says that the divine is always detached from its creation and is continuously liberated. And it wants to take our mind to that level where we are not attached, we are liberated, we realize, and that is the process of improvement and enlightenment. So who's a Sikh? I'm here standing in front of you. Who's a Sikh? A Sikh is really our mind, our thinking, an internal thought process that shapes us, our current state, and our future state, with the infinite potential of being one with the infinite. As the mind sows, so shall it reaps. This is a direct relationship that leads to accountability. Other names for a Sikh are, you are a student, you are a seeker, you are a learner, you are a pilgrim, you are a pathfinder, you are a disciple, you are an explorer, you are a researcher. These are the synonyms to a Sikh. Sikh comes directly from a Sanskrit word, shishya, which means a student. That is the literal meaning of a Sikh. The Shabad says, mind, please listen to the message of divine. Divine message provides peace forever. Imbibe that essence of the message and attain the highest state of equipoise. Isn't it peaceful here today? It's really peaceful. That music was really peaceful. Thank you. So who is Nanak? Nanak is the founder of Sikh faith. He was born in 1469 in undivided India, and India got divided in 1947. And so that part where he was born is now in Pakistan. Nanak was a seeker and a devotee of a divine. He understood the divine system and through reflection experienced the divine. So there was a lot of introspection involved. He applied both love, emotion, logic, reasoning, learned from other faiths, everything that you have it in your website in the Unitarian Church, that you use every source possible to realize the divine. Very much the same process he went through. And with that process, he was spiritually enlightened. He was a critical thinker, a musician, an explorer, full of humor, simple and full of divine virtues. He shared the path of spiritual enlightenment with the humanity by recording the divine word, or what we call Shabad, in Granth Sahib. People started calling him Guru. That's why in the Sikh faith you will hear everybody calls him Guru Nanak. According to Nanak, Shabad is the Guru, not him. He said, attach to the Shabad, and Shabad can enlighten your mind. So what does Guru mean? Well, just like we talked about the student, the Sikh, Guru means a teacher, in simple words. It's an educator, a mentor, a guide, a map, a path, an illuminator, an inspirer, an awakener, an enlightener. And that's the word I like, the enlightener. The literal meanings of Guru is made up of two parts, Gu and Ru. Gu means darkness. Darkness means ignorance, ignorance of the mind within us. Ru means light, enlightenment, awakening. Guru helps us to dispel the darkness of mind and enlighten it spiritually. In Sikh faith, the divine word is the Shabad, or the Guru. For spiritual enlightenment, a mind must connect and enlighten itself by following the message of the Shabad. And this is how you become a devotee of the divine, and this is how you improve, and this is how you transform. So on the very first page of Granth Sahib, it has 1469 pages, by the way, all in music form. There are 31 chapters. All the chapters are broken by music. 6,000 hymns, okay? And on the very first page, it says, how can this mind be cleansed? How can this mind be enlightened? How can the ignorance of the mind be removed? Very simple question, 5 letters. And then it says, it goes on describing why is the mind dirty, why it needs to be cleansed. And says, the reason is because it has ego, it has lust, it has greed, it has anger, it has possessiveness, pride, jealousy, judgment, expectations, rituals, desires, duality, negativity, vices, bad behavior, hate, fear, worry, anxiety, greed for power, politics. These are all the examples of negativities that the mind has, which must be cleansed, removed, to be closer to the divine. This Shabad inspires the mind to shed its filth or vices. Let's talk a little bit about Granth Sahib. It was compiled in 1604, but finally became the permanent guide for the Sikh faith in 1708. The 31 chapters that I described, they are called ragas or rags. Sikhs call it rags. English pronunciation is ragas. It gives you 2 ways to live, because Sikhism really is a way of life and gives you 2 ways to live. It says you have a choice. You can be either the divine word driven or Shabad driven, or you can be a vice driven. Very simple. And it's constantly inspiring the mind to be more Shabad driven. And if you had to find another word for Shabad, would be virtue driven, virtues. No one has monopoly on this Granth Sahib. Even Sikhs don't have it. Anybody can follow it. The other day I was talking to someone and they said that, so can a Christian be a Sikh? And I said, sure, anybody can be a Sikh. As I said, Sikh is a mind. If you want to learn something, you want to teach yourself and get better at it, anybody can. Because when you talk about Christianity or Judaism or Islam, to me, those are more of names of a structured way or a name of a denomination. Whereas when you open up the doors, there is no such denomination. The connection between the mind and the divine, you don't need a denomination. It is all centered around love. So what is rag? Rag is a melodic framework for improvisation in the Indian classical music, which has emotional significance. It is symbolic association with the season, the time, the mood, to color your mind with deep and abstract message. You can see that as we were listening to the music, it is much easier for the piece to dwell into the mind than the words that I'm talking to you about. And that's the difference. So when you're singing those meaningful words, it tend to permeate into our mind and into our actions with a little bit of ease. And that's why. Continuous association with rag and divine words sung in rag is called kirtan. And it can be transformative. तू मेरा पिता तू है मेरा माता तू मेरा बंधप तू मेरा प्राता तू मेरा राखा सबनी थाई तू मेरा राखा सबनी थाई ता भोके हा काड़ा जियो तू मेरा पिता तू है मेरा माता तू मेरा बंधप तू मेरा प्राता. Divine, you are my father, you are my mother, You are my relative. You are my sibling. You are my everything. You are my protector everywhere. Then why should I have any fear, any worry, or any anxiety? By your grace, I experience you. You are my support. You are my honor. Without you, I don't have anyone. There is no other. The entire universe is an arena of your play. You created this creation. We all are fulfilling the tasks as per your cosmic order. All things that you are doing, we cannot do anything. By living your message, my mind is stable and at peace. The Shabad says a lot about love. I would say 50% of the Granth Sahib is full of nothing but love, because that is the eternal connection between us and the divine. So it says, mind, let go of ego if you want to merge with the divine. It is worthless to live in this world if love for one divine is missing. Continuous longing is an element of true love. This true love is selfless, limitless, and unconditional. Love is the most powerful force. When you are in love, you are always wanting to be together. And you can see that relationship between a mother and a child, the two spouses, anyone you love, you want to be together. And so if we can develop that same love within our mind for the divine, then your mind is going to have a constant association, or wanting to have constant association with the divine, which is everywhere, by the way. It's not a deity. When you are not together, you're always longing to be together. You cherish the company and the support. When not together, you feel something is missing, that your life is incomplete. That should be the love between the mind and the divine. Love for anything other than divine is an emotional attachment. I was living in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and a neighbor, someone came to visit us at our house. This was a young driver, student driver, and had come to drop her mom to see my wife sitting in the back. And as she was leaving, backing out, student driver, didn't pay attention, backed into the car of the neighbors. The neighbors came out and they were really going ballistic. I mean, literally, naturally, I understand, right? Anytime we have something that gets damaged, you are attached to it, you're personal. But to me, that was enlightening, because when I saw we were friends, and suddenly you become from friends to a foe because an element in between have just damaged their materialistic car. You can see how we are attached to a materialistic thing. It can be a table, it can be a desk, it can be a car, it can be a house, it can be anything which has no life, actually, right? So these are all processes of learning. Nanak's mind feels contentment through the love of the Shabad. Nanak prays to be divine, that I may constantly be in love with you. Let's talk about religion. What does Granth Sahib Sikhism say about religion? Because we have so many religions, right? According to the Shabad, the best religion among all, irrespective of any name, is to live a life of divine wisdom and virtues. Religion is nothing but the field of our mind. As you shall sow, so shall you reap. So if in that field, if we sow the virtues, that's what we will reap. Divine is a treasure of virtues. We must sow love, truth, listening, and you just talked about listening in the earlier part, justice, forgiveness, positivity, sharing, courage, balance, humility, integrity, empathy, devotion, kindness, character, gratitude, contentment, awareness, and selfless service for others. So to recap, what is Sikhism? One divine in all. Mind is the Sikh, not this body. Body is essential, but not the body. Mind is the Sikh. Mind must learn and transform. It must practice universal human equality, dignity of all, humanity, search for divine within, Shabad-driven life, truthful earning, living honestly, a lot of love, respect, care, and wish well for others, stay focused on the divine message, love for the divine in the mind to achieve state of zero ego. The objective should always be spiritual enlightenment. One should not deviate from the objective. And that is a process that takes time. And that process can only be achieved through this human body. Because without human body, you can't act upon those thinkings. And that's why the body is very important. That's why this is a rare gift, a rare blessed opportunity. And that's why when a human passes away, like we had two today, and the Hawaii people, we always remember, because they are reminding us of the goodness, the virtues that they lived in their life, and how we could be inspired or learn from it to improve ourselves for the remaining life that we have. So automatic practice of those divine virtues: love, compassion, detachment, forgiveness, patience, gratitude. Praying is not an action. Praying is a state of mind. It's always in a continuous mode, always connecting to the divine for his union and grace. So what, if I had to summarize Sikhism in one line, it is the direct connection of a mind with the divine through the divine message. And that's what Sikhism is. I'll end this part of the presentation by a hymn on love. Priya ki प्रीत प्यारी प्रिया की प्रीत प्यारी मगन मने मैं चित वो आसा मगन मने मैं चित वो आसा नैनो तार तुहारी नैनो तार तुहारी प्रिया की प्रीत प्यारी प्रिया की प्रीत प्यारी ओए दिन पहर मूरत पल कैसे ओए दिन पहर मूरत पल कैसे ओए पल करी के हारी ओए पल करी के हारी खूले कपट दपट बुझ तृष्णा खूले कपट दपट बुझ तृष्णा जीवो पेख दरसारी जीवो पेख दरसारी प्रिया की प्रीत प्यारी प्रिया की प्रीत प्यारी I love the state of being in love. My mind is constantly longing to be one with divine and yearning for the divine love. Blessed is that day, that hour, that minute, that second, when the heavy, rigid shutters of my mind are opened, and the thirst of love is quenched, and the fire of ego is extinguished. I live and love the divine experience. What is that method? What is that effort? What is that service which inspires me to contemplate on the divine? Abandon your egotistical pride and attachment. Nanak says, you shall be saved by living the message of the divine word. Thank you.
Would you please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn, number 134, Our World is One World. It's in the gray hymnal. The words and the music are by Cecily Taylor.
We extinguish this chalice flame, but not the light of love and community which continues to burn in our hearts.
तू ठाकुर तुम पे अरदास जियो पिंड सब तेरी रास तुम मात पिता हम बारक तेरे तुमरी कृपा मैं सूख कनेरे कोई ना जाने तुमरा अंत ऊंचे ते ऊंचा भगवंत सगल समगरी तुमरे सूतर तारी तुम ते होए स्वाज्ञाकारी तुमरी गत में तुम ही जानी नानक दास सदा कुर्बानी Divine, our body and soul are yours. You are our parent, we are your children. In your grace there is total stability. No one knows your limits. You are the highest among all the highs. The entire creation is strung on your thread. That what has come from you is under your will. You alone know your state and extent. Nanak is forever humbly in gratitude to the divine. One divine in all, at this congregation of diverse and inclusive beliefs, faiths, religions, and backgrounds, we come together in a unifying way at the First Unitarian Church of Oklahoma City to offer this prayer unto you. To bless each and every human mind here with your love, your connection, your wisdom, your values, and strength to enlighten us. We offer our gratitude for the many blessings you bestow on us. Please enable us to find love, kindness, humility, oneness, peace, compassion, contentment, good health, physical, mental, and emotional, charity, and positivity in accepting your will. Please connect us with those with whom may we always remember you. Live and practice your spirituality deep within and share it with others. In the name of Nanak and the divine word, may there be optimism, and through thy will, may we all prosper. Jap man Satnam Sada Satnam. Jap man Satnam Sada Satnam. Mind, may you always live this eternal divine message and virtues and make us reach to the emancipation with total bliss. Thank you.